Long before the packed stadiums, the Champions League nights, the millions of dollars, and worldwide fame, there was simply a young boy with one dream. His name was Jude Bellingham. He was born on June 29, 2003 in Sturbridge and grew up near Birmingham, one of England's largest and hardest working cities. Unlike many football superstars, Jude wasn't born into wealth. His family lived a comfortable but modest life. His father, Mark Bellingham, worked as a police officer. But that wasn't the only thing that made him well known. Outside of his police career, Mark was also one of the most prolific non-league football strikers in English football history. Over the years, he scored more than 700 goals in non-league competitions. Every weekend, Jude watched his father play. He learned something important. Football wasn't only about talent, it was about consistency, dedication, and loving the game. His mother, Denise Bellingham, worked in human resources. She became the organizer of the family, managing schedules, education, travel, and later helping guide Jude's rapidly growing football career. Many people close to the family say Denise played a huge role in keeping Jude focused as success arrived. Jude also shared his childhood with his younger brother, Jude Bellingham. The two brothers were incredibly close. Almost every day they played football together. Back gardens, local parks, school fields, any open space became their stadium. The brothers challenged each other constantly. Every match became a competition. Every goal mattered. Neither wanted to lose. That friendly rivalry helped both boys improve faster than anyone expected. Even as a small child, Jude stood out. He wasn't simply bigger or faster. He understood football differently. He could read the game, anticipate passes, find space, remain calm under pressure. Coaches quickly noticed his maturity. He often played against children several years older. Yet he never looked intimidated. If anything, he seemed to enjoy the challenge. His confidence came from preparation, not arrogance. At a very young age, Jude joined the academy of Birmingham City. For most children, making a professional academy is already an enormous achievement. For Jude, it became only the beginning. Coaches were amazed by how quickly he developed. His passing improved. His first touch became exceptional. His physical strength increased. But perhaps his greatest quality was his mentality. He wanted to learn every single day. He arrived early, stayed after training, asked questions, listened carefully, then worked even harder. Many academy coaches later admitted they had rarely seen someone so determined at such a young age. Jude wasn't interested in being the best player in today's training session. He wanted to become the best player years into the future. As he moved through Birmingham's youth teams, he dominated nearly every age group. Soon, playing with boys his own age no longer challenged him. The club promoted him again and again. Eventually, he began training alongside experienced professionals. Many were surprised. After all, he was still just a teenager. Yet whenever he stepped onto the pitch, he looked completely comfortable. Veteran players noticed his confidence, his decision-making, his work ethic. Nobody treated him like a child for long. Then came the moment that changed everything. In August 2019, at just 16 years and 38 days old, Jude Bellingham made his professional debut for Birmingham City. He instantly became the youngest first-team player in the club's history. Thousands of supporters watched history unfold. Most expected nerves. Instead, they saw composure, energy, intelligence, fearlessness. Jude didn't look like a boy making his debut. He looked like someone who belonged there. Only weeks later, he scored his first professional goal. Again, he broke another club record. He became Birmingham City's youngest ever goal scorer. England's football world immediately took notice. Scouts from Europe's biggest clubs began filling the stands. Representatives from Germany, Spain, Italy, France, they all wanted to watch the teenager everyone was talking about. Every match increased his reputation. Journalists called him one of England's brightest young talents. Football legends praised his maturity. Fans couldn't believe someone so young played with such confidence. His market value began rising rapidly. While many teenagers were still thinking about school exams, Jude was already becoming one of the most valuable young footballers in Europe. His family remained calm. His father reminded him that fame could disappear as quickly as it arrived. His mother protected him from distractions. Education remained important. Discipline remained essential. The family refused to let success change who they were. That stability became one of Jude's greatest advantages. The boy from Birmingham who once played football with his younger brother in local parks was now attracting the attention of the biggest clubs in world football. Everyone wanted to sign him. Everyone believed he could become special, but nobody yet knew that his journey was only beginning. Soon Jude Bellingham would leave England, travel to Germany, and begin the next chapter that would transform him from an exciting teenager into one of the biggest stars in world football. Jude Bellingham's record-breaking debut for Birmingham City changed everything. One moment he was a 16-year-old academy player. The next he had become one of the most talked about young footballers in Europe. Every match attracted more attention. Scouts filled the stands. Journalists wrote headlines about England as next superstar. The football world couldn't believe how mature he looked. He wasn't simply surviving against experienced professionals. He was controlling matches, winning tackles, creating chances, leading attacks, playing with confidence far beyond his age. During the 2019-20 season, Jude became one of Birmingham City's most important players. He made over 40 first-team appearances before turning 17. For most teenagers, that would already be a dream career. For Jude, it was only the beginning. Europe's biggest clubs entered the race to sign him. Teams from England, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany all wanted the teenage sensation. Some of the richest clubs in world football made inquiries. Many expected him to stay in England. Instead, Jude surprised everyone. In the summer of 2020, he chose Borussia Dortmund. The transfer was worth around 25 million. At the time, it became one of the most expensive transfers ever involving a 17-year-old footballer. The decision shocked many fans. Why leave England so early? Jude had a simple answer. He wanted to play, not sit on the bench. Dortmund had already built a reputation for developing young superstars. Players like Jadon Sancho, Erling Haaland, and many others had flourished there. Jude believed Germany offered the fastest path toward becoming one of the world's best. He arrived in Dortmund as a teenager. New country, new language, new culture, new teammates. For many young players, such a move would be overwhelming. Jude adapted almost immediately. His work ethic impressed everyone. He trained harder than expected, studied German, asked experienced teammates for advice, respected the club's traditions, and quickly earned the trust of his coaches. His debut came within weeks. He immediately broke another record. Jude became Borussia Dortmund's youngest ever goal scorer in an official competitive match. Another record, another headline, another reminder that he wasn't an ordinary teenager. Then came the biggest stage in club football, the UEFA Champions League. Millions of players dream about hearing the famous Champions League anthem. Jude experienced it before turning 18. Even more remarkable, he didn't look nervous. He looked completely at home. Facing Europe's biggest clubs, he controlled possession, won midfield battles, created opportunities, and played with remarkable maturity. Soon he became one of the youngest players ever to score in the Champions League, then one of the youngest captains in European competition. Every season brought another record. Football legends began praising his intelligence, his leadership, his confidence. Many experts called him one of the best young midfielders in the world. By now, England could no longer ignore him. National team manager Gareth Southgate invited Jude to join the senior England national football team. In November 2020, at just 17 years old, Jude made his senior international debut. He became one of the youngest players ever to represent England. For many footballers, reaching the national team is the greatest achievement of an entire career. Jude accomplished it before becoming an adult. His performances continued improving. World Cup qualifiers, UEFA Nations League, international friendlies. Every match increased his experience. He never looked overwhelmed. Instead, he played with the confidence of someone 10 years older. Meanwhile, success at Borussia Dortmund continued. He helped the club compete for major trophies. In 2021, Dortmund won the DFB Pokal. It became the first major trophy of Jude's professional career. The celebration meant more than winning silverware. It proved he could perform under enormous pressure. Each passing season transformed him. His passing became sharper, his defending stronger, his leadership more visible. He could score, assist, control the midfield, and inspire teammates. By the age of 20, many analysts already considered him one of the complete midfielders in football. His market value exploded from a promising teenager to more than 100 million, then 120 million. Eventually, football analysts estimated his value among the highest of any player on earth. Commercial opportunities followed, global brands wanted partnerships, sponsors competed for his signature, media companies featured him in international campaigns. Millions of fans followed his every match. His social media audience grew into the tens of millions. Children across the world wore his shirt. Young midfielders tried to copy his playing style. His name became known far beyond England and Germany. The football world had found its newest superstar, yet an even bigger challenge was waiting, because one club had been watching him from the very beginning. The club that many footballers dream about joining, Real Madrid and soon Jude Bellingham would take another giant step, one that would transform England as wonder kid into one of the biggest football stars on the planet. By the summer of 2023, Jude Bellingham had already become one of the most sought-after footballers on earth. At just 20 years old, he had dominated the Bundesliga, shined in the UEFA Champions League, become a regular starter for England, and established himself as one of the best midfielders of his generation. Now every major club wanted him. The transfer race included Europe's biggest giants, but one club stood above all the others, Real Madrid. For generations, Real Madrid had been the dream destination for the world's greatest footballers. Legends such as Alfredo Di Stefano, Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano Ronaldo, and many others had built their legacies wearing the famous white shirt. Now the club believed Jude Bellingham was the next superstar ready to lead a new generation. In June 2023, Real Madrid officially completed the transfer. The guaranteed fee reached approximately 103 million. With performance bonuses, the total value could rise to well over 130 million. It instantly became one of the biggest transfers in football history. It was also one of the largest fees ever paid for a midfielder. For Jude, the move wasn't only about money, it was about history, pressure, and the opportunity to play for the biggest club in world football. Millions of supporters welcomed him. The presentation at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium attracted worldwide attention. The expectations were enormous. Many wondered, could such a young player handle the pressure? Jude answered immediately. From his very first matches, he looked unstoppable. He scored goals, created chances, won tackles, controlled midfield battles, led attacks, and inspired teammates. Supporters quickly fell in love with him. Instead of needing months to adapt, he looked as though he had played for Real Madrid his entire life. His first season became extraordinary. Week after week, he delivered match-winning performances, late-winning goals, long-range strikes, brilliant assists, powerful defensive displays. Every competition seemed to produce another unforgettable moment. Spanish newspapers called him the future of Real Madrid. Television analysts described him as one of the most complete midfielders in football. Even club legends praised his maturity. One of the biggest surprises was his goal scoring. Although naturally a midfielder, Jude regularly appeared in the right position at exactly the right time. He scored decisive goals in La Liga, in the UEFA Champions League, and in El Clasico against FC Barcelona. His performances made headlines across the world. Football fans began comparing him with some of the greatest midfielders in history. Many experts believed Real Madrid had found its next global superstar. The trophies soon followed. During his first season, Real Madrid captured the La Liga title. Then the club conquered Europe once again by winning another UEFA Champions League trophy. Lifting Europe's biggest prize at such a young age placed Jude among football's elite. For most players, winning the Champions League is a once-in-a-lifetime achievement. Jude accomplished it almost immediately after arriving. He also helped the club win additional major trophies, including the Supercopa de España. Every success increased his confidence. His market value exploded. Financial experts estimated his value at well over 180 million. Some estimates even approached 200 million, making him one of the most valuable footballers on earth. Only a handful of players carried similar value. At the same time, his global popularity reached another level. His social media audience grew into the tens of millions. Every interview attracted worldwide attention. Children bought his shirt. Sponsors competed for partnerships. Television networks featured him in advertising campaigns. His name became recognized far beyond football. He was no longer simply an English midfielder. He had become a global sports icon. His performances also placed him among the favorites for football's biggest individual awards. Experts discussed his chances of winning the Ballon d'Or in future years. Many believed he would compete with the world's greatest players for more than a decade. Some even predicted he could become one of the defining footballers of his generation. Yet, despite the fame, the trophies, and worldwide recognition, Jude remained remarkably grounded. He continued arriving early for training, studying opponents, improving every part of his game, learning from experienced teammates. He understood something very few young stars realize: success is never permanent. Every season begins at zero. Every match must be earned. The wonder kid from Birmingham had now become one of the brightest stars in world football. But an even bigger transformation was still ahead, because football success was only one part of his story. The other part would make him one of the highest paid young athletes on the planet. By the age when many young adults were just beginning their careers, Jude Bellingham had already become one of the richest and most valuable footballers on the planet. At Real Madrid, he wasn't simply earning a salary, he was building a global business empire. Every successful season dramatically increased his financial value. When Jude signed for Real Madrid CF in 2023, the club invested more than $103 million to secure his signature. With performance-related bonuses, the total transfer package could exceed $130 million. Real Madrid viewed him as a long-term investment, not only as an exceptional footballer but as one of the future faces of world football. His contract immediately placed him among the highest-paid young players in Europe. Reports estimated his annual salary at well over $20 million before taxes, when wages, bonuses, and image rights arrangements were included. Every season his earnings continued to grow. But the salary was only the beginning. Modern football superstars really earn most of their money from football alone. The biggest fortunes are built away from the pitch, and Jude understood that very early. One of his largest commercial partnerships came with Adidas. The global sportswear giant signed him to a lucrative long-term sponsorship agreement. He became one of Adidas' biggest young ambassadors. His image appeared in international advertising campaigns, television commercials, billboards, digital marketing, limited edition football boots, global product launches. Every campaign reached millions of fans across the world. As his popularity increased, so did the value of his endorsement deals. Major international companies wanted to work with him: luxury brands, technology companies, sports nutrition businesses, fashion labels, video game publishers, automotive manufacturers, financial services. Every global brand wanted the same thing. The face of football's next generation, Jude carefully selected partnerships that matched his public image. Unlike many celebrities, he avoided signing dozens of random endorsement contracts. Instead, he focused on long-term relationships with premium global companies. That strategy increased both his reputation and his earnings. Another major source of income came through image rights. In modern football, image rights are incredibly valuable. Whenever companies use a player's photograph, name, signature, or personal brand, the player can receive significant compensation. For elite footballers, image rights income often reaches millions of euros every year. As Jude's popularity exploded, his personal brand became one of football's fastest-growing commercial assets. His jersey became one of Real Madrid's best-selling shirts worldwide. Supporters from Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Africa, and the Middle East all wanted the number 5 shirt. Every shirt sold generated enormous revenue for the club, while endorsement agreements further increased Jude's own commercial income. Then came social media. Millions quickly became tens of millions. His audience continued growing across platforms. Every training photo, every match celebration, every interview, every advertisement reached an enormous global audience. Brands understood that a single post from Jude could reach more people than many television campaigns. His influence became a business by itself. Meanwhile, his performances on the field continued driving his financial value even higher. Football analysts regularly updated player market values. Jude's valuation climbed above 180 million, then approached 200 million according to several market estimates during different periods. Only a handful of footballers in the world carried similar values. He had officially become one of the most expensive players on earth. Every successful season strengthened his position, winning trophies increased his commercial value, scoring goals increased his popularity. Strong performances for England attracted even more international attention. Everything worked together. Football success created business opportunities. Business success increased his global influence. His wealth continued expanding through careful financial planning. Like many elite athletes, Jude surrounded himself with experienced advisors, lawyers, financial managers, business consultants, investment professionals. Together they focused not only on earning money but protecting it. Instead of spending recklessly, his team concentrated on long-term financial security, diversified investments, careful asset management, tax planning, commercial partnerships, and building a brand that could last long after his playing career ended. Experts frequently compared his business potential to football icons like David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, not because of identical playing styles but because of their ability to transform sporting success into global commercial empires. Before turning 25, Jude Bellingham had already earned tens of millions of euros, built one of football's fastest growing personal brands, signed contracts with some of the world's biggest companies, and established himself as one of the highest paid young athletes anywhere on the planet. Yet despite the wealth, the luxury, and worldwide fame, he continued saying that football remained his priority because he understood one important truth: money follows excellence. It never replaces it. And every training session, every match, every trophy brought him one step closer to becoming not only one of football's richest stars but one of its greatest legends. Years from now, when people talk about the greatest midfielders of this generation, one name will almost certainly be part of the conversation: Jude Bellingham, not simply because of his goals, not because of his trophies, and not because of the millions he has earned, but because of the way he carries himself both on and off the pitch. From the very beginning of his career, Jude showed a level of maturity that surprised even experienced football professionals. While many young stars struggled with fame, he remained focused on improvement. Every training session mattered. Every match became another opportunity to learn. Every mistake became a lesson. He never believed success meant he had arrived. Instead, he believed success created even greater responsibility. That mindset separated him from many talented players, because talent alone is never enough. Throughout his journey, Jude has often spoken about discipline, preparation, and respecting the game. Coaches consistently praise his professionalism. Teammates admire his work ethic. Even opponents respect the intensity he brings to every match. Whether Real Madrid are leading by 3 goals or trailing late in a Champions League match, his commitment rarely changes. He presses, defends, creates chances, encourages teammates, and keeps fighting until the final whistle. That mentality cannot be bought. It cannot be taught overnight. It is built through years of daily habits. Another quality that defines Jude is leadership. Despite being one of the youngest players in every team he has joined, he has never been afraid to accept responsibility. At Borussia Dortmund, he often played with the confidence of an experienced veteran. At Real Madrid CF, he quickly became one of the team's emotional leaders despite arriving as a new signing. For England national football team, he has already become one of the players fans trust in the biggest moments. True leaders don't always speak the loudest. Sometimes they lead through their actions. Every sprint, every tackle, every sacrifice, every example they set for others. Jude understands this better than most. Despite becoming one of football's richest young stars, his family has remained at the center of his life. His parents have supported him through every stage of his career. His father taught him discipline. His mother helped manage the challenges that came with fame. His younger brother, Jude Bellingham, continues building his own professional career. The brothers remain close, supporting one another instead of competing against each other. Jude has often shown gratitude toward his family. He understands that no athlete reaches the top alone. Behind every successful player, there are countless people making sacrifices that the public never sees. As his career continues, experts increasingly compare him to some of football's greatest midfielders. Many believe he has everything required to become one of the defining players of his generation: technical ability, physical strength, football intelligence, leadership, mental toughness, professionalism, and perhaps most importantly, an endless desire to improve. Individual awards may come: league titles, Champions League trophies, international success, perhaps even the Ballon d'Or. No one knows exactly what the future holds, but one thing already seems certain: Jude Bellingham has established a foundation that very few players achieve at such a young age. His story reminds us that greatness is never built overnight. The world often sees the headlines, the transfer fees, the luxury lifestyle, the millions of followers, the trophies, but those are only the results. Behind every success are thousands of unseen hours: early morning training, extra gym sessions, studying opponents, recovering from difficult matches, learning from mistakes, choosing discipline over comfort, again and again and again. That is where legends are created. The boy from Birmingham,